Hi everyone, this is our last gizmo for Biology A, and it is a little bit longer. There are 3 parts to it, but you have those extra days, those extra project days, so you'll be able to get all this done before the end of the quarter. So this one you are doing different skull analysis, and here's the login information. Again, you use one of these codes depending on your last name. And if you already have the account, remember you just keep using your same account that you set up. So we have some vocabulary here. There are a couple prior knowledge questions to answer. So it's just labeling the skulls and then looking at different features to identify which skull is which. Then there is a warm-up here. Make sure to read the instructions and get to, the chimpanzee is going to be the first one, so you just use this drop-down menu to get to the different skull, to get to the humans or Homo sapien skull. All right, for the first activity, you're going to be doing some measuring with the skulls. So we want to get the gizmo ready. So we're going to select Homo sapiens, which is the modern human skull, and we already have that. So we will need to get to the bottom view. Make sure to read through this introduction, and this picture shows you the different areas that you're going to be measuring, and this side down here also helps as well. So we will select bottom view on the gizmo, which is down here, and we are going to click measure lengths. You'll just click show ruler, and so this is a ruler that has 2 separate ends that you can move wherever about the skull. So we'll do the first one here. I'm going to measure from the, I'm at this point right here, the epistocranian to the orale. So I will go put one at the top of the skull, and the orale is down here by right where the teeth are starting, and you can compare your pictures again to right here. And so that measurement was 20.24, and so that will go, oops, I mixed the first measurement. So it's 20.24 centimeters, and so for this one, the epistocranian to the epistion, that one is going to be this one up here, where you go to about the opening of the opistheon right here. Go up a little bit. And you don't have to be exact. These are going to be estimates, of course. So I have 7.04. And then when you want to find the opistheon index, you're going to calculate that by dividing your first measurement by your second measurement. So I will take my calculator. Let me get that ready here. One sec. All right, so I have my calculator open. I'm going to take 7.04 and divide that by 20.24, and that'll give me 0.3478, but I want to multiply that by 100, and so I have an answer. In its long answer, we're going to round up to the second decimal point. So my answer will be 34.78. Since the next number is 2, we can just leave it at 0.78. And so that's how you get to the index, and you'll do the same thing for the chimpanzee. And then analyze some questions. The greater the index, it's more likely that the species stood upright like us. Now, if you have a low value for this index, which is this column here, that may mean that the species walked on its knuckles or on 4 legs. So once you've calculated the chimpanzee one, I've done the human one for you, or Homo sapien for you, use this information, highlighted information here, to conclude or make a conclusion based on your data there. And then for activity A, you're going to do the same thing for the rest of the species. And again, you just use the drop-down menu and make sure you're just going to the correct one. And then you'll analyze and explain based on your data collection. So for activity B, we are now going to be measuring the area of the cranial capacity. So I will go back to modern human. I will click on side view. I clicked the ruler off, and I'm going to turn on click to measure area. Now you're going to be measuring the cranium, and so this is kind of like a rough estimate of where the cranium will be for each of the fossils or the skulls. So you just simply click and keep your finger down on your mouse and go and cover each of these squares with blue. And that's how so you're just clicking and dragging with your mouse to get all the area. And if you get a portion that shouldn't be blue, I'll show you this in 1 second. So like, let's say I accidentally, like went down like this. Well, then you just click on, I'm just clicking on each thing separately, and that will take off the area. Or if I accidentally take off an area, I can always put it back on by clicking on it. So if you have any questions, just make sure to email me. And so your area is going to be down here. It calculates it for you. So you'll write your area. This was the one for the chimp that I have. And so you click your area, and then you you multiply it by 5 to give you a rough estimate, and then that'll be that column here for the estimated cranial capacity. So then based on your data, you will then answer these questions down here. And then for this next part, you're going to turn off the area, put it on front view, and you're just comparing the foreheads of a human and a chimpanzee. So you answer questions A and B with that. And then, of course, draw conclusions based on the data you collected with activity B and activity A. So the last part here we have is activity C. And what you're going to do here is determining diet and see how that evolved along with the species. So like, what are they eating? And so you were to measure the different angles here. I filled it out for you. These ones are blank because the fossils are incomplete, so you couldn't measure it completely. But I did this already, so use the data that I collected here and answer the questions. Let's see, there was one more thing. Okay, when you're summarizing you're recording the age of each fossil, that's going to be found in here, like in your information about the fossils. So the chimpanzee and the human don't have ages because they're modern, so they're not from long ago. Whereas like, the Homo habilis is approximately 1.8 million years old. So I think it's helpful to just start with a list and then write the ages and then explain how they've evolved. And use your data you collected from activities A, B, and C to do that. And then the last question is just, there's one fossil, it's the youngest, and so what ways does it not follow the pattern of human evolution that you described above? So again, I know this is a longer one, but you do have those extra few days, and I do think this is just a nice practice with the data analysis and a great activity. So again, if you have any questions, make sure to send me email or text, or just contact me and we can go through this together.